What's up, guys? This is Tyler today here with another Minecraft video, and today we will be reviewing 1.9. I know it's 1.10 right now, but if I'm going to go over the 1.9 update right now, so let's get right into it. Okay, so we have a new concept, weapon speed. Now, as you can see, I have a hoe, sword, pickaxe, shovel, an axe, nor the zombie egg. I'll show you that in a second. And so if I hover over them, it says when in main hand, 4 attack speed and 1 attack damage. So this diamond hoe only hits for 1 attack damage, but it has 4 attack speed. I'll show you what that means in a second. Now this diamond sword hits for 7 attack damage, but it has 1.6 attack speed, and you get it. And all the way up to diamond axe, which has 1 attack speed but hits for 9 damage. So it's pretty slow compared to the hoe or sword. But let's get our sword out right here. And so 9 attack damage is more than a diamond sword. So weapons that are tools have been buffed, and now they can be used as weapons. Primarily only the diamond axe makes a good substitute, but I'll show you in just a second. If we get some zombies in here, did you see that? It readied. It wasn't instantly in my hand. I have to wait for it to come all the way up. If I don't, and what you see while I'm swinging it, doesn't come all the way up. I have to wait for it to come all the way up, or else it'll do like less than half a heart, I think. If I wait for it to come up all the way, it'll do its true damage. And right next to my hotbar, you can see that little strength symbol going up. When that hits all the way up, I know that I'm ready to swing again. For example, I will only do damage to this guy if I wait for it to come all the way up. I think I spawned this guy on here. And we also have a new ability with the sword. These guys are all burning, but did you see that? I hit this guy, I think, and they both flew back. And you see those little explosion particles for a second? Sometimes they happen, sometimes they don't. That is my special ability with the sword. I'll show you. The only other weapon that has a special ability is the axe. And so what the sword special ability does is called like sweep, I think, and it'll do a small little area damage, and it'll knock everything back. Really useful if you're fighting a bunch of guys. That's what the sword does now. Let's put this stuff back and move on to higher damage on tools. Already covered that. Now, diamond axe obviously does more damage than a diamond sword, which is crazy. So they can be good, but they're very slow, obviously, so you have to choose. And now you have the dominant hand option. If you see, my right hand is what I use. Now if I go into skin customization and turn my main hand to left, now everything will be in my left hand. I'm right-handed, so I'm going to keep it in my right hand now. And let's move on to the next thing. Ender dragons now breathe fire. Now this concept is actually going to be very useful for advancing, but I'll tell you about it a little bit more later. Just know that look out for some fireballs, because they do breathe it. Some purple flames now. Better end. The Ender Dragon boss fight has been improved a bunch, and we also now have, after you defeat the Ender Dragon, you will unlock a portal, which you can use Ender Pearls to teleport into. Only way to get in. And you be in the outer end. And in the outer end you can find new structures called End Cities, and we'll talk about what's in those later. Resettable Ender Dragon. Now you can do some kind of magical ritual to resummon the Ender Dragon if you want to fight him multiple times. Pretty cool, right? I'll show you how to do that later. Subtitles. If I go into music and sounds, now there's subtitles. I'm going to keep them off, and what it does is it'll just display what you're hearing above your hotbar, I think. Haste now makes you attack faster. Haste will now cause you to ready your weapon faster. attack indicator. That's that little thing next to my hotbar. I can also change it in video settings right here to make it at my crosshair, or I can just turn it off. I'm going to keep it at my hotbar though, okay? We have dual wielding. This is an awesome concept, and what this means is, now before you get super excited, I am going to have to tell you that, hang on, explain to you that I can't actually use, I can't left click, I can't attack with that diamond axe in my other hand. I just can't. Now I'll tell you what it is for soon, okay? Put that back. We also have Frostwalker Boot Enchantment. Now all of you Frozen fans are going to be pretty happy with this. Now, walking over water causes you to freeze it. And the higher the enchantment level, the farther around you it goes. So if you use commands or mods or something, you could like touch the water and the whole ocean will be frozen over. Probably cause a lot of lag though. And as you can see, it breaks behind me too. So really nifty. If you want to be like Elsa. And we have the Mending Enchantment. Now, I personally love this enchantment. Now, let's pretend that my diamond sword's about to break, and I enchanted Mending. Now, whenever I get experience, instead of going towards my experience bar, it will repair my diamond sword a little bit every time I get an experience. So, my diamond sword will just never break. And if it's all the way full, the experience will start going to me again, okay? Now that we have that covered, let's move on to the glowing effect. Now, glowing is pretty cool. I'm gonna get out a spectral arrow, which I'll show soon. It's not right. Let's get a zombie and some wood. Okay, now if I put on a zombie in here and make him a little wall and shoot him with a spectral arrow, I can see him behind walls now, and he has a little outline. Cool, right? Same goes with players. They get shot with spectral arrows. So, pretty nifty, at least in my opinion. And, I guess I got rid of it, okay? And if you were to move on to the next thing, which is levitation. Now, to show you this effect, I'm going to just put it on manually. Or levitation 1. Now I did it for 1 second, but what it does is you just float up into the air. I'll show you how you get it later. Luck and bad luck. Now these are currently kind of, I think it's just kind of testing right now. They were added to the game, but you can't really get the luck and bad luck potions currently, I don't think, without commands, and they don't seem to do much. But they should improve your drop chances. And we also have the End City, already told you, and Dragon Heads. Now this is, I don't know if this comes across as funny or creepy to you, but it's probably one of the two. So if you power a Dragon Head, it will open and close its mouth. And now before you say, I get to behead the Ender Dragon, you don't. You find them in the End Cities, in the outer end that I was telling you about later. You won't actually get this from an Ender Dragon that you kill, okay? You'll find them on the End Cities. And if I take away this redstone torch, it stops. I think you can also wear them on your head. Let's test that. And when you move, it opens and closes. How funny is that? Okay. Next we have igloos. Now I'm not going to show an igloo because I don't want to give you any spoilers, but I will tell you what they generally are. Now igloos are found in icy biomes, and if you happen to come across one, don't just go, oh, that's cool. You should go inside and explore a bit before you move on, because chances are you might find something a little bit out of the ordinary. They can be found in some icy plains, and I don't know what else, but generally icy biomes. And weapon abilities. Now, I was telling you about how the sword has an ability, but let me tell you the other weapon that has an ability. Now, diamond axes. The other 3 weapons don't really have abilities, but diamond axes, now, if you're sprinting, I think, and you hit somebody with a diamond axe, it will it will like it'll stop them from being able to use their shield. And I'll tell you about shields soon, okay? And we also have skeleton horses. Skeleton horses can now be found in the wild. It's actually pretty hard to get them though. Sometimes if you find a lone horse, be cautious, because if you get too close, lightning might just strike it and it'll turn into a skeleton horse trap with a bunch of skeletons riding skeletal horses. If you can kill the skeletons, you can tame the skeleton horses and use them as your pets, which is awesome. Now, it does spawn quite a few though, the trap, so be careful if you find one early in the game. And new boats. We now have new boat textures as well as boats for every kind of wood, and they now have oars, and they move a little bit faster. And get this, let's pretend we have oh my gosh, what am I doing? Okay, now something cool is, oops, I think I just broke something. Yeah, let's spawn down a wolf and put a boat on him. Or does that not work? I think it has to be like specific creatures, but like only tamed wolves and stuff. But you can now have animals ride around in your boat behind you, which is one of the coolest things ever. And there's actually a glitch, I don't know if it still works, but you used to be able to, you can't actually have people in your boat, other people in your boat normally, but if you get somebody on it riding a pig in a boat, then it'll have two people with you. Pretty cool, right? We also have end brick, which is crafted like this. Found it in the end, and the new end, that is, and it doesn't really have any use. And we also have chorus plants. Now, I'm telling you, I promise, when I was setting this up, I put one chorus flower down here, and look at what it has grown into, all randomized. So these chorus flowers will grow into these little bits right here with a chorus flower on top of them, and they just grow and grow and grow constantly, and it is the coolest thing. And they'll split and do all kinds of weird stuff. But if you take this, let's pretend I break this, whole thing collapses, and you see those little things right there? These are chorus fruits, and they can be eaten even if you aren't hungry. So let's go into survival. That might have been the worst example ever. There we go. They teleport you randomly, and you can also cook them to get popped chorus fruits, which are used. These are the popped chorus fruits, if you cook them, and they can be used to craft these new blocks called purpur blocks. And, well, this is what they look like. This is the recipe for this one. You can look up the recipes for the other. I couldn't fit them all in. And here you go. Chorus fruit, popped chorus fruit. Just cook it and put it in this pattern. You'll get this. And then you can do all kinds of weird stuff with this block to get all the others. And we have end rods. Now, these emit light and they can be positioned several different ways. This is how you craft them. Popped chorus thing and blaze rods. So I don't know about you, but blaze rods are always kind of hard for me to get. So kind of expensive in my opinion, but they look pretty cool. They do give off light and they have their own particle effects. So, and this is the moment you've all been waiting for. You put this in this pattern and you get a shield. If you put a shield in your new offhand slot, this will happen. And you can right click with your shield and arrows will ricochet off of you. And you'll block every attack except unless somebody's sprinting at you and hits you with an axe. Then it'll allow you to, it'll make you have to stop using your shield and take quite a bit of durability away too, I believe. So be careful. It does kind of cover up a little bit too much of the screen if you ask me when you're not using it, but still very helpful. And I know lots of people will be using these. Okay. Oh, long chest. Now we have spectral arrows. This is the arrows that make things glow behind walls and stuff. And this is how you craft them. You get 2 per craft. Pretty cool looking. yeah, so moving on, we also now have new mob Shulker. Now, you see how they kind of look like these purple blocks? Because they're meant to kind of be camouflaged in with them. You'll find the purple blocks and these guys in temples, and you see his little face in there. So menacing. Now, they'll shoot for you guys. I'm going to go into survival real quick and show you what happens. There we go. Now, they shoot these little tracking balls at you, and if you get hit, it gives you levitation. And then you fall to your death if you're not careful. Oh, 3 more. Ah! Okay, so these guys are pretty dangerous, and they're kind of disguised. Like, they'll walk right by them, and they'll pop open and shoot those balls at you. But yeah, and they also take more damage if you hit them when they're open. Keep that in mind. We have 3 new command blocks. Now, this is so complicated, I could do a whole video on it, which I did. I'll put the link to the video in the description, and basically, we have purple command blocks, repeat. Orange command blocks are now called impulse, and green command blocks are called chain. That's all I'm gonna say. If you right click on grass, you now get grass paths, which are slightly smaller, and they replace gravel and villages. And they're super cool. And I mean, I think they look nice. Hope you guys feel the same way. And you can use them in all kinds of builds, which I already have. And we now have a new plant that used to be a Pocket Edition exclusive, beetroot. Now, if you do this with beetroot after you're done harvesting them, I guess I'm in creative, so it doesn't work. But do this, and you'll get some beetroot soup. Pretty nifty. If you want more plants, we also have these guys now require blaze powder to work. Now, this recipe isn't working. This is the dragon's breath bottle. Now, you know how I was telling you about the dragon's breath? If you right click on the little fireball when he's shooting it, you will get dragon's breath, and you take that home and you use it to make new potions. So that sounds so cool when I say it out loud. Making potions with dragon's breath. We are like full-on witches now. So if we put some blaze powder in here now, watch the result. It went through these little tube things, and now it's causing this to actually work. We'll come back to that in a second. And this is the new potion type. They're called lingering potions. This is just a water bottle this is just a water lingering potion, for example. And if you surround any lingering potion with arrows, you now get tipped arrows. Now, let's pretend we have a poison potion in here. Can you imagine that? Poison arrows. Imagine being able to shoot those. How cool would you feel? Even if they weren't that effective, which I'm sure they are. By the way, since this costs dragon's breath to make, by the way, now they're lingering potions of health, healing. You put these down, and here's the effect. It's like a splash potion, but it stays. You get the effect if you walk in it, and that's super cool. And you can do it with every kind of potion. But like, seriously though, imagine poison arrows. How cool is that? By the way, this is how you craft it, and you get 8. Okay. Now, moving on, we have one thing left. Now, these guys, these dragon healing crystals, are now craftable. Here's how you craft them in their decoration, but they do still explode, so pause your screen here because I'm about to blow it up. Fortunately, for some reason, it didn't seem to destroy any blocks, but it did. It is a very big explosion, so be careful when you're doing that. And that's pretty much it, guys. So really hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Bye. Hey, where are you going? I'm not done with you guys yet. My bad. I actually forgot one of the most important things, and well, almost forgot. Now, in the end cities, you can find probably the coolest item ever, the Elytra. If you equip this Elytra in your chest slot, I have wings, and if you're wearing a cape, the Elytra will look like your wings. I mean, the Elytra will look like your cape, and it'll take on the texture. How cool is that? Now, these aren't just decorational either. I built a thing up here, come over here, and I think it looks better in third-person mode. Jump off and press space, and I can fly. Now, if you dive bomb or hit something too fast, you will take damage, but that's how that works, and these might just be the coolest thing ever. Now, these do slowly take durability damage, ever so slowly, but they won't break, and you don't have to go to the end to get another pair. So don't worry, you can, all you have to do to fix them is craft them with some leather in a crafting table, and the durability will go right back up. And if you forget to and they break on you, they won't actually disappear. You'll just get broken wings. So you don't ever have to get multiple pairs unless you literally want to have multiple pairs in your inventory at once for some reason. I'm not judging you guys. And, well, bye. For real now. Please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time. Bye.